Good afternoon, and welcome to this month's webinar titled Recovering from a Holiday Debt Hangover. Well, hello, how are you today? If you're like most Americans in January, you could be feeling better. More than half of us won't pay off our holiday purchases this month. We'll carry a balance, and that headache is what causes a holiday debt hangover. While we don't have statistics yet for 2019, we do know the average American racked up just over $1,000 in holiday debt in 2018. That means we overspent on gifts, travel, food, and drink. We put it all on our credit cards, and now we're struggling to pay it back. Here's the scariest number of them all. Last year, when 28% of Americans started their holiday shopping, they still hadn't paid off their holiday debts from 2018. They had so much holiday debt they couldn't get rid of it before the next holiday season. That's all kinds of bad. If your holiday debt is adding to your regular debts, and if all that red ink is making you blue, it might be time to seek professional help. A little later, we'll go over some do it yourself solutions. But I want to start with the most powerful debt busting tools available to you. They might sound too good to be true, but they're proven and they're regulated by state and federal governments. Let's take a look. The first step to curing your holiday debt hangover is to get a debt diagnosis. You don't go to a doctor, though. Instead, you go to a certified credit counselor. These experts work at nonprofit credit counseling agencies. While they're on the phone with you, a counselor will give you a free debt analysis. They'll review every dollar you spend and every dollar you earn. From there, they can give you a menu of debt busting options. One of the most powerful weapons in a credit counselor's arsenal is called a debt management program, or DMP for short. It might be able to cut your monthly payments by up to 30 or even 50%. How can it do that? Simple. Your credit counselor works directly with your credit card companies. A DMP has several wonderful advantages over trying to get out of debt yourself. Not only do you save money on interest rates, a DMP also freezes late fees. Even better, you only make one payment a month for all the credit cards that are in the program. You make that payment directly to the credit counseling agency who pays your creditors on time. No more forgetting to write that check for that one credit card than getting hit with late fees. Obviously, there's much more I could say about DMPs, but your best bet is to read more on your own time and at your own speed. Since I'm biased, I suggest checking out consolidatedcredit.org for the simplest plain English explanation of the pros or cons. Or you can call a nonprofit credit counseling agency and not only receive that free debt analysis, but also ask any questions you have about DMPs or anything else financial. Now let's move on to the biggest complaint about the holiday season, namely that it keeps starting earlier and earlier. Well, we want to turn that from a spending disadvantage to a savings advantage. We want you to start thinking about the holiday season year round. Not all the time, of course, but certainly when you're out shopping for other things. What we are talking about? Here are our top three suggestions. Everyone knows that the best time to score deals on holiday decorations is in January when stores are selling off their leftover inventory for cheap. Every month is off season for something, and that's the time to snag a discount and hide it in a closet for holiday season 2020. You can easily scour the internet to learn which months are historically buyers' markets. Believe it or not, many of these individual deals will save you more money than buying those same items during the Black Friday sales. When it comes to booking flights, there's much debate about the optimal time to do that. Is it 3 months or 3 weeks before you fly? Well, if you're traveling during peak times, which is right before Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, your best bet is to book as soon as you can confirm the dates. It's not just about saving money, it's about even getting a seat on the plane. Airlines are flying fuller planes than ever before, so you run a serious risk of not departing when you want. If you want to avoid holiday stress, you need to budget your holiday expenses. After all, you can't save money unless you know how much money you're spending. In fact, that goes for the entire year. So if you want to save for the holidays, you need to save year round. You need to create not just a holiday shopping list, but a monthly budget. Now, I know what you're thinking. I sound like a real Scrooge. Budgeting is never fun while you're doing it. But once you see a hefty positive cash flow, it's downright exciting. So the question is, how do you power through the boring parts? My advice, let technology do it for you. Instead of spending money on high tech gifts, you can use technology to save you money. While you can certainly go old school and create a budget by putting pen to paper, it's so much easier if you use secure online tools that require just a few keystrokes. There are websites, apps, and programs that handle the drudgery of budgeting for you. Many are free, and the ones that charge are only a few bucks. Here's how they work. One of the most popular is called Mint. Although many banks and credit unions offer similar programs on their websites for their customers, basically you just type in your income and expenses and the program do the math for you. You can even project your savings if you brown bag it one more day at work or refinance your mortgage. The software does the heavy lifting for you. If that's a little too techy for you, there's a middle step. Websites like Tiller let you download customized spreadsheets that stay on your computer, and you easily personalize them. Each program has its own pros and cons, but they all work. So it's really up to what makes you feel the most comfortable. Most are free, but even the ones that charge, again, only charge a few bucks. If you don't want to roll into the next holiday season in debt, the best present you can give yourself is a call to a credit counseling agency and a high tech budget. These two simple moves can set you up for the entire year and beyond. But here's the thing: if you make a New Year's resolution to get in financial shape, there's a 50-50 shot you won't do it. Every year, polls show fully half of New Year's resolutions fail. So let's talk about putting you in the right 50%. I know this sounds weird for a financial coach like me to say, but if you take my advice and get a free debt analysis and create a budget, you need to reward yourself for your efforts. You need to spend a few bucks buying yourself a holiday present every few weeks. For instance, if you save an extra $100 a month, set aside $20 for yourself to spend however makes you happy. It's not a lot, it's certainly not a vacation, but it can be a nice bottle of wine or a gourmet burger. Why am I advocating spending money when we're supposed to be talking about saving money for next holiday season? Because saving money is like dieting. You can do it for a little while, but without some cheat days, you'll grow weary from the struggle. In fact, dieting and saving have a lot in common. For example, they represent the top two New Year's resolutions. And not surprisingly, they're the two most common resolutions that get broken. If Santa checks his naughty and nice list twice, you need to review your credit reports at least twice a year. Now, a credit report is not a credit score. A credit report is what the credit bureau uses to determine your credit score. Confused? Well, let's break it down so you can figure out well before next holiday season. There are three credit bureaus with scary names like Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. These are private companies. They vacuum up all the data about how much you spend and how much you owe, and lenders pay them to get access to this data so they can decide if they'll lend you money. That data is included in your credit report, and each credit bureau keeps one on you. But you can get a free copy of your credit report from each credit bureau each year. Just go to annualcreditreport.com. Then you check those reports for mistakes. A government study a few years ago showed that 5% of all reports had mistakes so serious it would keep you from getting a mortgage or even a credit card. These days, everyone is talking about hacks and shortcuts for raising your credit score. Obviously, the higher your score, the lower your interest rate on everything from credit cards to auto loans. But here's the thing, nearly two-thirds of your score is decided by just two factors: paying your bills on time and how much debt you owe. So if you really want to raise your credit score fast, all you need to do is the stuff we've talked about today. Again, not to sound like a broken record, but a certified credit counselor can explain the details to you when you call for your free debt analysis. We've been talking a lot about trusting a nonprofit credit counseling agency, but how do you find the best one? Well, there are three factors. First, make sure the place has been around for a while. I'm talking about decades, not just years. Second, check out the Better Business Bureau website. If the Better Business Bureau hasn't given it an A+ rating, move on. And third, search for online reviews that are mostly positive. No company has a perfect track record, so also check to see how they handle complaints. Do they tackle them the right way? Then that's the credit counseling agency you can trust. If you follow the 6 simple steps we've discussed today, you can kick off holiday season 2020 in style with no stress and no debt. Best of all, each of these steps takes very little time and they won't cramp your lifestyle. So if you're suffering from a holiday debt hangover, this is the simplest and best cure. It's also preventative medicine because once you embrace these 6 steps, you won't suffer a debt hangover again. Thank you for your time. If you have more questions or you want more free financial advice, we're here for you. Just go to consolidatedcredit.com. Again, thank you so much for your time today. Happy New Year and the best to all. Thank you.